What if everything you've been taught about spirituality is only a shadow of the truth? What if the most profound wisdom was never lost but intentionally hidden, scattered, distorted, or buried beneath layers of diluted teachings? Many ancient traditions share a common origin, yet few recognize the deep well of knowledge from which they flow. The essence of spiritual mastery has always existed, not as a belief system but as a blueprint, an intricate map leading to the heart of existence itself. Beyond modern interpretations of self-improvement and enlightenment lies a body of wisdom so powerful that it reshapes reality. This knowledge is not about blind faith or rituals designed to pacify seekers. It is a direct path to understanding the forces that shape life. The echoes of this truth exist everywhere, in symbols, myths, and forgotten texts, waiting for those ready to see beyond illusion. Those who stumble upon fragments may find themselves intrigued but unable to grasp the full scope, for much of it has been carefully concealed. The question is, why? Why has this ancient wisdom remained just out of reach, passed down in whispers rather than openly shared? The answer is both simple and unsettling, because true understanding grants liberation. The moment an individual awakens to this knowledge, they become unshackled, free from manipulation, beyond control. And for centuries, power structures have depended on keeping humanity blind to its own potential. From the temples of lost civilizations to the manuscripts hidden in dusty archives, a golden thread weaves through history, connecting the seekers of truth. The emerald tablets, the forgotten teachings of the sages, and the sacred writings attributed to enigmatic figures like Hermes Trismegistus. These are more than mere relics. They hold the secrets of reality itself, revealing principles so profound that they can dissolve the illusions governing human perception. But why have such teachings been obscured, reduced to mere philosophical curiosities rather than recognized as the keys to creation? The answer is uncomfortable but undeniable. Knowledge is power, and power in the hands of the awakened is a threat to those who seek dominion over others. Throughout history, rulers and religious authorities have suppressed, misinterpreted, or rebranded these teachings, ensuring that only fragments remain. What was once sacred science, understood by the initiates of ancient temples, has been trivialized into vague metaphors or rewritten to serve external control systems. The deeper truths remain, encrypted in myths, in symbols carved into stone, in the language of alchemy and mystery traditions. They were never meant for the masses. They were meant for those who dared to seek beyond doctrine, beyond authority, beyond fear itself. The roots of this wisdom stretch far beyond recorded history, predating empires and organized religions. It is not bound to any single culture or belief system, but rather transcends them all, carried through time by those who understood its significance. The ancient temples of Egypt, the hidden scrolls of the desert mystics, the esoteric traditions woven into Eastern and Western philosophies, all are branches of the same eternal tree. Hermes Trismegistus, known as Thrice Great, was not a single man but a title, a legacy that preserved this wisdom for those who would follow. The 7 Hermetic principles, revealed in cryptic writings, describe laws that govern both the seen and unseen realms, showing how thoughts shape matter, how energy flows in patterns, and how consciousness is the fabric of existence. This knowledge is not mystical in the sense of fantasy, nor religious in the sense of doctrine. It is the mechanics of reality itself. Those who understood it were able to influence their lives in ways that seemed miraculous to the uninitiated, mastering the forces that others feared or misunderstood. Yet such understanding came at a price. For those who wielded this wisdom often found themselves persecuted, their discoveries deemed too dangerous to be shared freely. For centuries, these teachings were guarded, passed down in secret through symbols, allegories, and hidden societies. The emerald tablets, revered for their cryptic revelations, spoke of transformation, not just in the physical sense, but in the very essence of being. The nature of reality was never meant to be a mystery to those who sought truth, yet it was deliberately concealed, replaced with structures designed to condition the mind rather than liberate it. Hermetic teachings revealed that existence itself is mental, that the universe is shaped by thought, and that those who truly understand this principle hold the key to their own destiny. Such an idea was dangerous to those who ruled through fear and subjugation. If individuals understood that they were not powerless, that their consciousness was not separate from creation but an active participant in it, then control structures would crumble. So, the teachings were distorted, buried under layers of dogma, declared heretical by religious institutions, and dismissed as myth by the modern world. They became whispers in the corridors of secret orders, encoded in Renaissance artwork, hidden in philosophical texts, waiting for those with eyes to see. Yet wisdom has a way of surviving, no matter how fiercely it is suppressed. Though countless attempts have been made to erase it from history, it has endured, disguised, fragmented, but never truly lost. Traces of Hermetic knowledge can be found in the Kabbalah, in the hidden doctrines of Eastern philosophy, in the mystical writings of Christian and Sufi traditions. The greatest minds of history, thinkers like Isaac Newton, Leonardo da Vinci, and Giordano Bruno, recognized its power, using it to unlock deeper understandings of the cosmos. The resurgence of interest in these teachings today is no accident. It is part of a greater cycle, a reawakening. In an age where external systems seek ever greater control, the return of ancient wisdom is an act of defiance. To study these principles is to reclaim something that was always meant to be yours. It is to step beyond limitation, beyond fear, beyond the illusion that power lies anywhere but within. And as more individuals awaken to this reality, the tide begins to turn. What was once hidden is emerging once more, not as a relic of the past, but as the foundation of the future. Hidden beneath the surface of what most consider spirituality lies knowledge so profound, so transformative, that its true depth remains deliberately concealed. These teachings are not for casual exploration. They challenge the very foundations of how we perceive our reality. Throughout time, ancient wisdom has been veiled in allegories, symbols, and secret doctrines, preserved only for those courageous enough to delve into its mysteries. Such knowledge has often been suppressed, not out of fear of its ineffectiveness, but precisely because it is so potent, granting immense personal freedom. True Hermetic wisdom liberates individuals from external manipulation, allowing them to experience firsthand the boundless creative power that lies within their minds. Consider that the universe itself operates not through chaos, but through intricate laws, profoundly subtle, yet unmistakably precise. These universal truths, known as the 7 Hermetic principles, quietly govern every dimension of existence. The principle of mentalism declares that all realities originate from thought itself. The universe is a mental creation shaped by consciousness. Every achievement, every innovation, starts first in the intangible realms of imagination and belief. Realizing this principle empowers individuals to consciously design their lives rather than passively endure circumstance. The principle of correspondence offers the insight that structures above reflect below, the external mirroring the internal. Think of your inner world like a garden. Thoughts and emotions planted within inevitably bloom outward into the experiences you live. When you cultivate inner harmony, external peace manifests naturally. By recognizing these reflections, one transforms daily reality through conscious internal change rather than struggle against external conditions. The principle of vibration reveals that everything in existence is in constant motion, vibrating at specific frequencies. Picture your being as an instrument tuned to particular notes. Anger, envy, or resentment represent discordant vibrations, limiting your experience to harsh tones. Conversely, compassion, joy, and gratitude elevate your frequency, opening pathways previously invisible. Aligning your vibration intentionally shifts your experience, moving you from limitation toward infinite potential. The principle of polarity, acknowledging duality within unity, emphasizes that opposites are simply different points along the same spectrum. Imagine temperature, extreme heat, and intense cold aren't separate entities, but varied expressions of one phenomenon. By understanding polarity, you learn to transform negative states into positive outcomes, using adversity as a stepping stone rather than a barrier. Mastering polarity empowers you to transcend limitations, transforming doubt into certainty, adversity into opportunity. The principle of rhythm recognizes natural cycles, teaching that life flows in waves and cycles, moments of expansion followed by inevitable contraction. Like tides of an ocean, recognizing and respecting life's rhythms prevents unnecessary resistance. Those unaware of rhythms struggle fruitlessly against life's currents, while the wise harness these natural cycles, moving gracefully with life's ebb and flow. The principle of cause and effect illuminates the intricate web of consequences that tie every action and thought to outcomes. Picture yourself dropping a stone into a pond. Ripples spread outward predictably and inevitably. Similarly, each thought and deed reverberates outward into life, shaping future realities. Becoming conscious of this principle grants profound clarity and foresight, transforming perceived randomness into purposeful intent, allowing life to be lived deliberately rather than accidentally. Lastly, the principle of gender asserts the necessity of masculine and feminine energies in creation. Beyond physical distinctions, these energies represent active initiation and receptive nurturing. Visualize the masculine force as planting seeds of intention, while the feminine nurtures these seeds into manifestation. Balancing these energies within oneself unlocks immense creative power, fostering harmonious, impactful living. Embracing both aspects within oneself creates unity, completeness, and the fullest expression of one's divine potential. These are not mere philosophies. They are fundamental forces, like the pull of gravity. Dismiss them, and you remain at their mercy, unknowingly shaped by unseen currents. Master them, and the boundaries of possibility dissolve, allowing you to reshape your world in ways the ordinary mind cannot comprehend. Those who fail to grasp these truths drift through life, moved by forces they neither see nor understand. Those who embrace them gain an awareness so profound that what once seemed random now reveals itself as part of a greater pattern. Reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Yet, society does everything in its power to keep you from realizing this. You are bombarded with distractions, consumed by artificial conflicts, and programmed to crave empty pursuits. Every system in place, from media to education, is designed to keep you focused on the surface, never looking beneath, never questioning the nature of your existence. But the moment you begin applying these principles, you step beyond the ordinary. You are no longer a passive participant in this world. You become a creator. The illusions that bind others fall away, and what was once hidden stands before you in plain sight. You were never meant to be powerless. The only question is, will you choose to awaken, or will you remain entangled in the dream woven for you? These teachings are not relics of forgotten civilizations, nor are they the product of obscure sections. They are the foundation of every spiritual and mystical system that has endured through time. From the sacred temples of ancient Egypt to the philosophical schools of Greece, from the mystic traditions of the East to the esoteric branches of Abrahamic faiths, the same truths emerge again and again. When you strip away the symbols, the rituals, and the dogma, what remains is the same core wisdom whispered across centuries. Reality is shaped by the unseen, and those who understand the unseen shape reality. But most never realize how deeply these ideas have been hidden or how intentionally they have been obscured. The roots of this wisdom can be traced to Kemet, the land we now call Egypt, where it was preserved as the sacred science of Tahuti, the divine scribe of cosmic knowledge. These teachings later merged with Greek thought, where they were attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a figure embodying the wisdom of both civilizations. The Greeks recognized that true mastery did not lie in conquest or governance, but in understanding the subtle forces that weave the fabric of existence. They studied these principles rigorously, knowing that the mind was the key to unlocking all mysteries. Yet, the influence of this wisdom did not stop there. If you examine the foundations of Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and even Taoism, you will find these principles seamlessly woven into their sacred texts and traditions. Consider Christianity. The idea that in the beginning was the Word reflects mentalism, the law that all creation begins with thought. The teaching that one reaps what one sows is simply the law of cause and effect, veiled in simpler terms. Even the struggle between light and darkness, heaven and hell, Christ and the adversary. This is nothing but the law of polarity, the recognition that duality exists within all things. The deeper layers of Christian mysticism, particularly Gnosticism, preserve these truths, but institutional powers work tirelessly to erase them. The Gnostic understanding of divine spark and illusion mirrors Hermetic principles, yet these teachings were deemed dangerous because they empowered individuals to seek truth beyond religious authority. A similar pattern appears in Islam, where Sufism, the mystical heart of the faith, speaks of unity with the divine, a clear reflection of mentalism. Sufi masters practiced sacred sound vibrations, geometric alignments, and deep meditation, methods that align perfectly with Hermetic teachings. But like Christian mysticism, Sufism was often suppressed, its deeper knowledge deemed too liberating for the masses. Judaism, too, carries the imprint of this ancient wisdom. The Kabbalistic tree of life is a living model of correspondence, showing how different planes of existence mirror one another. The sacred act of shaping reality through Hebrew letters and numerical vibrations ties directly into mentalism, the idea that consciousness crafts the material world. Even the concept of repairing the world, known as tikkun olam, is a reflection of cause and effect applied at a spiritual level. Yet, much of this knowledge has been confined to esoteric circles, kept from those who might wield it without understanding its depth. The same patterns repeat in the East. Hinduism's Brahman, the infinite consciousness that pervades all things, is another way of expressing that all is mind. The Taoist principle of yin and yang is simply the law of polarity expressed through nature's balance. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence and the continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth align with the law of rhythm, the understanding that everything moves in cycles. These teachings are not separate. They are different expressions of the same cosmic truth, scattered across cultures, waiting to be seen by those with eyes to perceive them. The question is not whether these laws exist. The evidence of their influence is everywhere. The real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you allow yourself to remain confined by illusions, accepting a version of reality imposed upon you? Or will you reclaim the power that has always been within you, the power that has been hidden in plain sight? The moment you choose awareness over ignorance, creation over submission, everything changes. The world you once thought was solid becomes fluid, and the boundaries of possibility expand beyond measure. The path has always been before you. Now, you must decide whether to walk it. Throughout history, spiritual truths consistently emerge in diverse cultures, despite differences in language, symbolism, and ritual. Why does this happen? Because genuine wisdom is universal. It cannot be limited by culture, geography, or tradition. Great spiritual masters, mystics, and visionaries across all eras did not discover separate truths, but rather unveiled a singular hidden reality. Whether labeled enlightenment, alchemy, nirvana, or self-realization, each path points toward the same inner revelation, the recognition that the universe is shaped by thought, consciousness, and divine awareness. Each tradition, from the hidden monasteries of Tibet to the mystery schools of Egypt, accessed this eternal blueprint, revealing secrets that empowered individuals to mold their own realities. Yet, as societies evolved, something darker unfolded. Powerful religious and governmental authorities recognized that if people could access these profound truths directly, they would no longer rely upon institutions or external mediators. Genuine spiritual understanding, therefore, posed a threat. Knowledge that once guided humans toward inner freedom was systematically diluted, distorted, and hidden beneath layers of dogma, superstition, and external rituals. Stories intended to inspire self-mastery became mere morality tales. Rituals lost their original meanings, and direct spiritual experience was replaced by passive worship. People were encouraged to seek salvation externally, through institutions, intermediaries, and rigid doctrines, while the deeper, transformative wisdom was secretly preserved by select groups. Secret societies, mystics, and Hermetic philosophers guarded this wisdom through the centuries. Groups such as the Rosicrucians, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and various mystery schools carried this profound knowledge forward, encoded in symbolic language, allegories, and esoteric writings. Yet these teachings remained deliberately obscure, known only to initiates who could decipher their hidden meanings. Publicly, such knowledge was suppressed, censored, or labeled dangerous precisely because it offered liberation from mental, emotional, and spiritual control. The general populace was subtly conditioned to reject these teachings as superstition, occultism, or heresy, unaware that these were the keys to their liberation. Now, however, humanity stands at a crossroads. Will people awaken to reclaim this hidden power, or remain guided by shallow spirituality, unaware of their true potential? Historically, those in power worked tirelessly to bury Hermetic wisdom, not due to fear of superstition or magic, but because authentic spiritual understanding was liberating. Early Christianity, for instance, selectively integrated aspects of Hermetic teachings into its doctrines, but intentionally omitted principles that promoted direct spiritual empowerment. Gnostic traditions, which emphasized personal experience of the divine, were eradicated, and vast repositories of ancient wisdom, like the Library of Alexandria, were systematically destroyed. Throughout the medieval period, the Catholic Church vigorously suppressed Hermetic practices, branding them as witchcraft or heresy. People who sought higher knowledge through alchemy, astrology, or sacred geometry were persecuted because such disciplines threatened the Church's monopoly over spiritual truth. With the rise of modern science, another wave of suppression emerged, led this time by a materialistic worldview. Hermetic insights, that reality originates from consciousness and energy, were dismissed as irrational or mystical. Yet, ironically, scientists like Isaac Newton privately studied Hermetic wisdom while publicly endorsing a mechanical universe devoid of spiritual depth. This duality ensured that spiritual truths remained hidden from the masses. Modern education, media, and economic systems perpetuated this materialistic illusion, reinforcing the belief that human life is limited, mundane, and powerless. Those who began to question reality found themselves redirected towards superficial spirituality, devoid of genuine transformative power, ensuring true awakening remained elusive for most. Yet behind closed doors, the elites who outwardly scorned Hermetic teachings privately embraced them. Secretive organizations such as the Freemasons, elite fraternities, and influential power circles actively applied Hermetic principles, understanding fully that reality is shaped by mental energy, intention, and frequency. By consciously manipulating perception and collective consciousness, these groups maintain power over the masses, steering entire populations through carefully orchestrated fears, divisions, and distractions. They ensured that humanity remained unaware of its innate power, functioning instead at lower states of consciousness dominated by anxiety, division, and consumerism. To acknowledge Hermeticism publicly would mean empowering individuals, something those in power have continually resisted. The ultimate deception, therefore, has been convincing humanity it is powerless. True Hermetic teachings remain hidden precisely because their revelation would dismantle every external control structure. You were never meant to be passive or weak, dependent on external validation or salvation. You were designed to be the conscious architect of your reality, able to shape existence through the power of thought, emotion, and intention. Awakening means reclaiming this forgotten truth, stepping beyond imposed limitations, and recognizing that reality responds directly to your inner state. The suppression of Hermetic wisdom has never been about protecting humanity. It has always been about controlling consciousness. Once you awaken to this truth, the chains that bind you vanish, and your reality becomes yours to consciously create. Spiritual teachings were never designed to become passing trends, superficially absorbed through short-lived social media posts or reduced to catchy motivational quotes. Yet today, genuine spiritual wisdom, once guarded zealously by sages, mystics, and enlightened masters, is diluted into marketable slogans and oversimplified promises. True spiritual awakening isn't about superficial positivity or mere wishful thinking. While today's popular spirituality insists that simply maintaining an optimistic mindset draws success effortlessly, the deeper, authentic teachings clarify that our entire existence, thoughts, emotions, intentions, and disciplined actions must harmoniously align with our desires. Genuine spiritual traditions emphasize profound self-awareness, disciplined effort, and genuine alignment with universal principles, far beyond passive positive thinking. It is not enough to merely desire a better reality. One must actively participate in shaping it, consciously directing energy and intention toward real transformation. Consider the subtle art of transmuting emotional states, a foundational spiritual practice now often overlooked. Modern spirituality frequently encourages avoidance or suppression of negative emotions, branding them as undesirable obstacles to quick happiness. However, ancient wisdom clearly illustrates that all emotions, whether sorrow or joy, despair or elation, are simply points along the continuum of universal energy. Instead of denying discomfort or avoiding emotional pain, genuine teachings instruct us to consciously engage these feelings, transforming them intentionally from lower to higher vibrational states. Only by directly confronting and intentionally shifting our emotional energy do we attain true spiritual growth. Avoidance merely perpetuates emotional cycles of dissatisfaction, confusion, and unfulfilled longing, trapping seekers in repetitive patterns rather than empowering genuine liberation. Then there's the universal law of cause and effect, profoundly misunderstood by contemporary teachings that often portray humans as helpless victims of circumstance. Today's popular spirituality suggests life events occur randomly or due solely to external influences, stripping away personal accountability and the empowering truth of deliberate creation. However, authentic spiritual masters consistently teach that every thought, decision, and action generates precise and corresponding outcomes, shaping one's reality in exact measure. True power arises from fully embracing responsibility for these causal forces. Rather than drifting passively or attributing misfortune to outside factors, seekers are called to consciously manage the causes they set in motion, recognizing their direct impact upon life's unfolding events. Mastery of this principle elevates individuals from passive observers to active architects of their destinies, empowered creators rather than victims of circumstance. Likewise, the principle of rhythm, recognizing life's inherent cycles of highs and lows, is drastically undervalued today. Popular teachings misleadingly depict happiness as constant and effortless, suggesting hardships signal failure or misalignment. But spiritual wisdom clarifies that life naturally oscillates between expansion and contraction, abundance and scarcity, joy and sorrow. Rather than resisting or denying these inevitable phases, true spiritual insight guides practitioners to understand and skillfully navigate these rhythmic cycles. Wisdom emerges not from perpetual ease, but from consciously aligning oneself with life's natural flow, gracefully adapting to change, and growing resilient through challenges. Authentic growth requires experiencing life's contrasts fully, embracing moments of difficulty as opportunities for profound learning, spiritual maturation, and increased self-awareness, rather than perceiving them as setbacks or signs of failure. So why is spiritual wisdom so persistently diluted and fragmented today? Primarily, diluted spirituality appeals precisely because it offers quick fixes, effortless solutions, and superficial comfort without demanding substantial effort, discipline, or accountability. The selective representation of spiritual teachings ensures individuals remain dependent, passively awaiting external fulfillment rather than cultivating genuine empowerment and deep inner transformation. Real spiritual wisdom challenges seekers to face uncomfortable truths, undertake disciplined personal work, and courageously confront their inner shadows. It does not offer shortcuts or magical solutions. Instead, it demands sincere commitment and consistent inner effort. Contemporary culture, driven by convenience and instant gratification, naturally favors diluted teachings that promise immediate rewards without substantial inner growth. True spiritual empowerment, however, remains accessible only to those willing to seek deeper truths, move beyond superficial comforts, and wholeheartedly embrace the discipline required for authentic transformation. Knowing spiritual wisdom is vastly different from living it daily. Imagine reading countless books on swimming but never entering the water. Your knowledge remains theoretical, powerless. Ancient spiritual teachers didn't just intellectually grasp universal laws. They embodied these truths through their daily choices, becoming living examples. To truly shift your life, you must first deeply understand you are the source of every situation you face. Your life's experiences aren't random. They're reflections of your inner thoughts, feelings, and intentions. If there's chaos, stagnation, or suffering in your reality, understand that these are manifestations you've unconsciously allowed. However, don't despair. This recognition is empowering because it means you hold the power to transform any condition you've unintentionally created. Consider a garden. If weeds grow abundantly, you've allowed conditions favorable to them. Similarly, your mind's environment determines your external experiences. Embracing positivity isn't superficial optimism. It's consciously reshaping your inner landscape. If your internal world is clouded with anxiety, doubt, or negativity, you'll inevitably notice chaos reflected externally, in relationships, work, and personal peace. However, cultivating clarity, gratitude, and deliberate intention will progressively manifest harmony externally. Picture how musicians meticulously tune their instruments before a symphony. Similarly, tune your mind's frequencies deliberately each morning. As you persistently align your thoughts with optimism, resilience, and purpose, life's external conditions will harmonize beautifully, reflecting precisely your internal state. Yet recognizing inner truths alone cannot transform reality. Action is paramount. Imagine tuning a radio to a specific station. Every thought, emotion, and spoken word radiates a unique frequency. Wishing for abundance while feeling trapped in scarcity is akin to tuning into classical music while expecting jazz. To achieve desired outcomes, elevate your energetic state intentionally. Instead of suppressing negativity, consciously transform negative thoughts into catalysts for growth, shifting perspectives through mindfulness practices like meditation and focused visualization. Surround yourself intentionally with uplifting environments, empowering companions, and positive dialogue that consistently reinforce your envisioned reality. This deliberate energetic shift is essential. Without aligning your vibrational frequency with desired outcomes, transformation remains elusive. Mastering emotional polarity means recognizing your ability to consciously shift states. Many people drift helplessly with moods, believing their emotional state controls them. Imagine emotions as channels on television. If you dislike the current program, you switch channels deliberately. If fear dominates your heart, consciously shift toward courage. If confusion clouds your mind, deliberately move toward clarity. For instance, an athlete nervous before competition deliberately summons excitement rather than succumbing to anxiety. Likewise, consciously shifting from discouragement toward determination empowers you tremendously. Equally essential is acknowledging life's rhythm, waves of growth followed by periods of rest. Rather than resisting these natural cycles, harmonize with them. Embrace periods of quiet reflection as opportunities to refine yourself, preparing powerfully to seize forthcoming opportunities. Balancing the masculine and feminine energies within yourself is crucial for meaningful creation. These energies transcend gender. They represent different yet complementary approaches to life. Masculine energy is structured, assertive, action-oriented. Feminine energy, conversely, is intuitive, nurturing, and receptive. Imagine building a house. Masculine energy represents architects drawing precise blueprints, while feminine energy embodies artisans skillfully decorating interiors. Leaning too heavily on masculine energy makes one overly rigid, disconnected emotionally. Conversely, an excess of feminine energy results in intuition without decisive action. Only integrating these energies allows harmonious, powerful manifestation. Balance discipline with compassion, strategy with intuition, ambition with openness, creating effortlessly yet effectively in all life's endeavors. Above all, your personal evolution demands unwavering self-responsibility. No external savior or mentor holds your power. You alone are the architect of your destiny. Imagine a sculptor patiently crafting art. Every choice, every stroke of effort shapes the final masterpiece. You similarly sculpt your life's narrative through deliberate mental clarity, disciplined energy, and purposeful action. External circumstances aren't your masters, but mirrors reflecting your inner beliefs and frequency. Cease waiting passively for ideal circumstances or external validation. The moment you courageously claim absolute responsibility for your mind, energy, and choices, liberation from illusions begins immediately. Embrace this profound truth fully. Take decisive control, and nothing can hinder your transformative journey toward boundless potential. Throughout history, those who stood at the peak of wisdom guarded their secrets carefully, hoping the masses would remain unaware of the immense power they naturally held within. They filled your life with endless distractions, social media's constant noise, overwhelming material desires, and endless worries about fitting in, to ensure you never tapped into your true potential. They trained you to believe that life's events were random, determined by fate or luck, rather than driven by your inner intentions and vibrations. But today, the curtain falls away, revealing a profound truth. The laws that ancient sages, mystical orders, and visionary leaders leveraged are equally available to you. These laws form a practical map to reclaim control over your thoughts, emotions, and ultimately your reality. With awareness and deliberate practice, you will recognize patterns in your life experiences, foresee consequences through cycles, and understand how your energetic vibration directly shapes your everyday existence. However, knowing these powerful principles alone isn't enough. The real challenge emerges when life tests your resolve, when your familiar comfort zones, outdated routines, and excuses attempt to reclaim you. Many who glimpse the truth momentarily retreat, seduced back into familiar patterns by convenience or fear. This hesitation creates the illusion of limitation all over again, trapping you in a cycle of stagnation. But genuine mastery requires action and commitment. The spiritual warrior does not merely understand universal principles, they embody them daily. Imagine a gardener who, after discovering fertile soil, waters and nurtures the seeds diligently until flourishing blossoms emerge. Similarly, your mind and spirit must be cultivated consistently, aligning your daily habits with higher frequencies, taking complete ownership of your choices and circumstances without compromise. The world around you is meticulously constructed to lull you into passivity, to convince you that happiness lies in superficial possessions, external validation, or transient pleasures. Everywhere you turn, hidden messages whisper subtly that you're not enough unless you acquire more. But now, with clarity awakened within you, the facade begins to crumble. Once you acknowledge this wisdom, your reality starts transforming dramatically, like a person who, after years of darkness, suddenly steps into sunlight and sees vibrant colors clearly for the first time. You'll discern patterns in behaviors, recognize energies within relationships, and instantly feel when something elevates or drains your spirit. The more you cultivate this intuitive awareness, the more empowered you'll become, defying manipulation and reclaiming sovereignty over your life. This newfound clarity is exactly what threatens systems of control, because an awakened being, conscious and purposeful, dismantles illusions effortlessly. Embrace this journey boldly, for in doing so, you not only change yourself, but contribute profoundly to the awakening of humanity itself. If this video spoke directly to your heart, comment, "I got it."